The media now is totally controlled. A million people, yeah. But those on alternative media, like Derek here, are doing what they can. So thank you very much for coming, Derek. Yes, and here we have Adam, who's going to say a few words about whatever, the struggles.
Yeah, pleasure to be here with my brave friend Piers and everyone else. Can you hear me? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm just saying, a lot of people in the 70s, squatting was very, very popular. But you may have the misconception that squatters is all about degeneracy, people don't want to work. It's not the case. Because I knew some nurses in the 90s who squatted around the Wanstead area in what is now the A12 Relief Road. And rather than smashing the property up, they did it up. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
That's good.
Rather than smashing the property, they did it up. They did brickwork. They stayed there for a number of years because they couldn't afford accommodation at the time. It was just too expensive. So the squatting movement as well around here also coincides with the advent of punk rock. As Piers said, punk rock, the 101ers was a precursor to the Cash. There was a guitarist working with them at the time, which was Keith Levine. But they were, I think, my friend Tony Allen knew Joe Strummer very, very well. Mick Jones comes from the Goldfinger building just around the corner. So this area is also legendary from its association with punk rock. And it's not just around here as well, because you may have heard of the Bermondsey Bromley contingent. The Bromley contingent were also punks, including Sid Vicious, Suxy Sue, Shane McGowan of the Pogues, who squatted around the Bromley area in the mid-70s. And was it in King's Cross as well? Yeah. And they squatted there and they went on to become legends in the road. Some may say they let the movement down, they let punk down because they went on to become rich and famous. One band that didn't do that was Crass, who lived near me. They gave all the money away to the fireman strikes, and I'm still in touch with Penny Rambo and the Crass. But commendable politicians.
Steve Ignorant last year.
He's a lifeboat. He's a lifeboat man.
Playing in the 100 Cup.
Commendable politicians like Tony Benn were legendary, and I'll tell you another reason why is because shout out Tony Benn also supported the prostitute movement, which occupied the Church of the Holy Cross.
That's the church I work
in about 1982. Tony Benn, they occupied it due to police harassment. So, you know, whatever your views on prostitution, we can honestly say that it's the oldest profession in the world, and that was said by Rudyard Kipling. And Tony Benn highlighted their plight, and they won certain rights from the police harassment, basically. Yeah. So, hi from Notting Hill, Elgin Avenue, and as I say, squatting is a rarity these days, but it did get a lot of people rehoused. So, well done, Piers, and thank you, our barrister friend David, for speaking for all you did for the squatters movement. The working class needs a voice at the end of the day, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, just another little nugget was where the 101ers were living. Piers talked about being organised, and Adam's talking about not being degenerate. So Eric Mattox used to go around and tell the 101ers off for the state of their front yard. They had to come out and clear it all up. You got to, we're respectable around here, you know. And so he used to keep them all in line. And it was a very organised movement from all I hear. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm a go. Yeah. All right, Derek.
I've just got a few memories to share.
Good man.
Basically, I lived in Woking. I had a business in Woking right through the 80s. And me and some friends back in the mid-70s moved to the Isle of Wight. And then we all went our separate ways, or it must be around about 77 time. And some good friends of mine from up north, from Stockton-on-Tees, Kathy, and my late friend, best friend Robbo, he died now about 10 years back. They lived in Randolph Avenue. Well, he did. At first, I think it was Sherland Road, where they shared a flat, and apparently the Clash were in a squat over the road from them. And yeah, and it's great memories. I hope, well, obviously Robbo won't see this, but unless he's watching from up there, but Kathy might see it, and it's all memories. And I can't think of anything else to say, so I'll hand you back to Piers Corbyn.
Well, thank you very much, Derek. Hello, hello. Yeah, hold it close to your mouth, it's all right. Well, any more for any more? Or shall we move on to other things? Like, we shall have a cup of tea and a bun.
Piers.
We don't mind carrying on
A
talking.
guy called Mickey Foot.
Michael Foot.
Yes.
Yes. Michael Foot was the organiser for the 101ers.
Yes, that's who he was.
Yeah, the Prime Minister at the time, or would-be Prime Minister, was no less than another Michael Foot. So we called that Michael Foot, our Michael Foot, Michael 12 inches.
Oh, you knew him?
He was Michael 12 inches. But he was a great guy.
You knew him, yeah. Michael.
So did Michael Foot offer some support like Tony Benn was no? Was Michael Foot any good at all?
No. The one we had in Parliament was Tony Benn. We didn't have my brother. In those days, Jeremy was my brother. No, I'm his brother.
I used to follow him.
There's another guy who was there. This one. He lived in the flats opposite, the white flats, which we called television towers. Because they did look like television.
Cats like you.
They were beautiful flats.
Yeah, trust me. It's
Anyway, any more for any more?
stand up for your country.
I'll stand up for my country. I've got the jeans crossed.
Yeah, you go away.
Shall we start again in about 10 minutes and talk about the ID or Digi ID, or shall we just carry on? What do you want to do,
I
people?
said we take a little break and come back in 10 minutes.
A little break and come back in 10 minutes. Happy with that? Fantastic cafe over there. And in that cafe, I remember the police were trying to intimidate us. And about a week before, 2 weeks before, they said, Mr. Corbyn, we want to have a private meeting with you. And already in Elgin Avenue they'd raided our houses a few times looking for IRA people, came into my house and woke me up with a light in my eyes at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and then got onto my typewriter and went tap 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 A B B. I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, we're taking an impression of your typewriter, Mr. Corbyn, so when we see leaflets we can know it's you that did them. Anyway, that's what they did. But a few months after that, they said, Mr. Corbyn, we want to have a private meeting with you. And I thought, well, this is dodgy. But anyway, I agreed. And we met in that cafe, plainclothes copper. And they were threatening all sorts of stuff. Saying, you know, we're going to be armed if we come, Mr. Corbyn. We're going to be armed. I said, really? And we did nothing. I just ignored everything they said completely. I didn't tell people either that the police were threatening arms, but it was just a scare tactic, of course. We stood firm. That is how we won. So, well, time for a quick break, 10 minutes, and we'll come back and talk about the current struggles. Resist, defy, do not comply. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He said he's got work.
Why do I pick my parents up? She might as well say three. And look, you see with the camera. As soon as that camera comes to me, I swear to
Come back this way, yeah, I will.
Right, all the boys are going to be down here, showing all the drugs and but it's going normal.